Hello Weirdos! I'm Pastor Darren. Welcome to your Daily Undead from the Church of the Undead. This is my opportunity to bring you into what I'm doing with my own daily Bible studies, or perhaps bring you a short message of hope and encouragement during the week aside from the normal Sunday episodes. If you've not already subscribed, be sure to do so now so you don't miss future uploads, and please invite others you think might also like the podcast. Tell them to visit weirddarkness.com/church for links to the podcast, our Facebook page, and more. That's weirddarkness.com/church. Today, I'm bringing you a thought from verseoftheday.com, and their verse is 1 Peter 3 verse 18, which says, "For Christ died for sins once for all, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God." Again, that's 1 Peter 3 verse 18. It sounds so simple and straightforward, doesn't it? Kind of like the newspaper headline about someone dying that we don't know. Just cold, hard facts. But we know differently. Underneath this statement of grace lies the broken heart of God, the sacrifice of heaven, the brutality of supposedly religious men, and the searching love of our Father who would not abandon us to the cruel death master, Satan, the murderer from the beginning. As it says in John 8 verses 44 and 45, "You belong to your father the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. Yet because I tell the truth, you do not believe me." For those who had once experienced animal sacrifice with its high personal cost and animal sacrifices, this verse, 1 Peter 3:18, is more than just a headline. It is a grace line. Jesus' once-for-all sacrifice meant that no more animal sacrifices would ever be needed. Hebrews 7 verses 25 through 27 says, "Therefore he's able to save completely those who come to God through him, because he always lives to intercede for them. Such a high priest truly meets our need, one who is holy, blameless, pure, set apart from sinners, exalted above the heavens. Unlike the other high priests, he does not need to offer sacrifices day after day, first for his own sins and then for the sins of the people. He sacrificed for their sins once for all when he offered himself." Hebrews 9 verses 11 through 14. "But when Christ came as high priest of the good things that are now already here, he went through the greater and more perfect tabernacle that is not made with human hands. That is to say, is not a part of this creation. He did not enter by means of the blood of goats and calves, but he entered the most holy place once for all by his own blood, thus obtaining eternal redemption. The blood of goats and bulls and the ashes of a heifer sprinkled on those who are ceremonially unclean sanctify them so that they are outwardly clean. How much more, then, will the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself unblemished to God, cleanse our consciences from acts that lead to death, so that we may serve the living God?" It came with the promise that Jesus would bring all to God who relied on Jesus' sacrifice. No more distance between God and us. No intermediaries between God and us. Jesus is heaven's open door and God's open heart, saying, "Come home. I've been waiting for you." Again, 1 Peter 3 verse 18, "For Christ died for sins once for all, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God." If you enjoyed today's message, or if you like the Church of the Undead in general, please tell others about the podcast who you think might also want to join in. You can find links to the podcast, our Facebook page, and more at weirddarkness.com/church. And you can also find a link to the original message that I borrowed today in the show notes. Thanks for joining me, Weirdos. Until next time, Jesus loves you, and so do I. God bless.